Do the Indianapolis Colts have the most efficient offense in the entire NFL? Steve, they are 4-1. Could be 5-0, honestly, if A.D. Mitchell doesn't drop a ball before the goal line or have a holding on a 50-yard Jonathan Taylor touchdown run. But I digress. John, our producer, is probably excited they lost to the Rams. But they have only punted. And this is how efficient this offense is. 7 times this year. To put that in reference, the Browns lead the NFL with 28 punts this year. They just find a way to stay on the field as an offense and put points on the board. And we're going to talk about how balanced they are. But when you watch this group, Steven, you and I have had a lot of phone conversations about this group. It's fun to watch complementary football and everybody know their role.
Everybody knows their role. Can we just go back, though, and let's discuss the elephant in the room?
Go ahead.
How bad is Anthony Richardson? Huh?
I mean,
how bad is Anthony Richardson?
Well, I think as each week passes, the perception gets even worse for Anthony Richardson.
Did you see him in the game where he gets in?
Yeah, that's how good this offense is playing. They can just rest.
And it still showed how bad he is. Yeah. Made some horrible decisions. In the Rams game, it was the first 3 and out. Think about that.
That's nuts. Our punter didn't punt for the first 2 games.
No.
I mean,
like it just kind of shows you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, with Daniel Jones, no one saw this coming.
No.
And I love that how everybody's talking to him. And the key thing that people keep overlooking, it was a actual open competition.
Yes.
Think about that wording.
And he opted to leave. He opted to leave Minnesota because he thought he had a realistic chance because he was told it was an open competition in Indianapolis.
He was told it was an open competition. Mm-hmm. He was told, which indicates that there were times people come to teams and it's not an open competition.
Very much so.
They don't have a chance no matter how well they play.
I would say the vast majority, Steve, of quarterback competitions have a clear front runner when they start in the NFL.
How do you have a clear front runner and
in a competition?
In a competition.
Let's see. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but listen, where was one of the quarterbacks drafted? Is that draft pick directly tied to what the general manager is telling ownership of? I picked this guy. Oftentimes in leagues, you know this. A general manager has to sell themselves and their selections to ownership. And I think the healthy relationships between a front office and ownership are, hey, we missed on this guy, but we have this guy. That was Kyle Shanahan with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. We missed on this one, but I think we have one here. It takes a lot to admit that. Hey, we whiffed at 3. We whiffed. Well, it was, to my understanding, Shane Steichen going to Jim Irsay's daughters and telling them in the room, this is my plan for Daniel Jones because this is how we're going to win with Daniel Jones. And you have to trust me on this. And that's going against the 4th overall pick that he picked right when he got there. And so I think that takes some stones.
We were at that pro day.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I talked about in my analysis. I was like, this is Tesla. Right? And I didn't realize that it just became that so quickly, which is just like Tesla, where everybody wants the Cybertruck, and then all of a sudden they realize, I'm not really cool with this product. And think about it, though. Daniel Jones, you know how bad you got to be that as the, top 3, top 4 picks in the NFL draft, that the dude who teams as the 6th pick overall pick said, he's not the guy. And you come in and you're not the guy either.
Yeah.
So here's the question. So it was a 1-for-1, right? Bet on himself, Daniel Jones.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, is Daniel Jones looked at like Sam Darnold in Minnesota, where if something happens that they decide to go with their young talent because they've been developing him and then realize after the young talent isn't the guy?
So are you saying is Daniel Jones considered in the same vein as the reclamation projects of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and that type of group?
No. Well, not necessarily with the Baker Mayfield, because Baker Mayfield could always play. There was no question about that.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, there was a question of Sam Darnold, not necessarily all Sam Darnold's doing, right? But with Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, you saw when Minnesota lost that playoff game, it was immediate. Hey, Sam got to play, Sam Darnold has to play better. And they've already had their mind made up. JJ's the guy.
Yeah. Well, I'd say this. There's two things at play here. One, I had a conversation with Zaire Franklin the other day, their middle linebacker, who was a boss, by the way.
He is so ridiculous.
A tackling machine. And he was like, we do forget, like, this dude was a 6th overall pick. And there's a handful of throws in practice where us on the defense are like, oh, shit. Like, dude can't kind of spin it.
Yeah,
like,
he can.
You know what I mean?
He always could spin it.
Yeah, and because he's like, because all of us around the league are kind of like, well, we've been told this reputation. We've kind of seen this thing. And so, like, in practice, we're kind of taken aback sometimes. But now that the season's gone on, we're like, dude's Stevie's 5th in completion percentage. But I don't think Anthony Richardson's ever giving you that.
No, here's why. Shane Steichen coached him up. Shane Steichen came in and said, let me teach you. And he had a head start because he had some good coaching in Minnesota.
Kevin O'Connell right there. Yep. I think you're right, Steve. I think what we all also are seeing, and this is where we had our eyes on Anthony Richardson going, let's see what he does now that he's lost the job. He's number 2. Does he work his tail off? What I do know, and I'm not saying he's not working. What I do know is, from my understanding, Daniel Jones has taken this opportunity winning the job and has poured himself into it. Like the study habits, it's almost like I got that next chance. I don't want to let it go.
Well, he's also probably learned how to study.
Great call.
Because he doesn't have the distractions of I'm the boss. I haven't done this. I haven't done that, and just it doesn't have the stress.
Yeah, and they simplified it for him, to my understanding. They simplified the way the play calling is going to go. Doesn't mean he doesn't have control at the line. He's changed a lot at the line, to my understanding, to get them into the right plays.
When they say simplify, that's saying it relates to
what he knows.
What he knows.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think what he's also helping is he doesn't kill drives by taking sacks. He's been really good with his eyes upfield. Like, even when he has pressure, the Broncos pressured him like crazy, and it didn't impact him at all. Like, he still found guys. And that what gets us to why we like this offense, why we want to talk about it. Because, Steve, he has options when his eyes are up.
Yeah, he does.
Everybody has their role. We're going to get into the receiver group and how the run game plays into this. But I thought this was fascinating. Like, Michael Pittman said this to the media recently, where it's like, we're executing at a rate I've never seen before. And we're doing stuff I've never been a part of before. And it's because he's got his role. Everybody else has the role. And I'll leave it at this before we get to all these receivers. I talked to a different DC that hasn't faced them yet. And he was like, I'd be pulling my hair out trying to figure out where the ball's going, because everybody does their job, and Daniel can go wherever he goes. Yes, they also can run the football. So,
yes, they can. Oh, they can run the football. Don't get it twisted.
They can run the football.
So let's break down where he's at. Right. Here's the good part about Daniel Jones. Right, where he's going, intermediate 10 to 19 yards. 18 first down, quarterback rating 132.
Poof.
Short from 0 to 9, 30 first downs, and 105. So he's not required to push the ball down the field and force it. When the opportunity presents itself, he's done a really good job. But his bread and butter, which he didn't do very well in New York, was an intermediate and short game, right? That's where the check down Charlie, but they're not checking down Charlie. He's just taking what the defense gives him, and he has enough outlets. So this is who's in his quarterback room. Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell, Ashton Dooley,
What a great game last week.
Anthony Gold. So Anthony Gold, Oregon State, right? Jitterbug. Who's he backing up? Josh Downs. Jitterbug. Mm-hmm. Then you have Michael Pittman Jr., who's the all-around route runner. Mm-hmm. Ashton Dooley, he's the deep threat. And let me tell you something about Ashton Dooley. He's from, I think, Malone College. 7 years in the league. He's in his 7th year. That means he's just gradually just been getting coached up by Reggie Wayne. Shouts out to Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, got to.
Right? Josh Downs is the short intermediate. Mm-hmm. Alec Pierce from Cincinnati, deep threat. A.D. Mitchell, deep threat. But Ashton Dooley, deep threat as well. So this room is so well because everyone knows their role and
Bingo.
they don't have to try to make it work or force things. It just, everybody is just comfortable.
And you know what stood out to me? And I mentioned Denver's pressure, but when Denver played them, they didn't throw away from Patrick Surtain at all.
No.
And what was it? It was because they trust all of the guys and they trust where the ball is supposed to go in a given play format, right?
So people are talking about Patrick Surtain a second as if he's gotten all these explosive plays. He hasn't gotten all these explosive plays. You need to go back and see.
You mean giving up explosive plays?
Giving up explosive plays.
No, he hasn't given up explosive plays. I'm just saying teams would oftentimes change what they're doing and just avoid him altogether.
They're not
the Colts
avoiding
still
him.
Just ran their offense. That's
Here's
what they did.
they're doing, too. They're not avoiding him. The Indianapolis Colts didn't really necessarily attack him. They just stayed to what they do well.
And I think that's the best part of the offense.
Yep, flooding the zone, flooding the man, not trying to prove to anybody, taking what the defense gives them, understanding that this defense is opportunistic. So it's just, it's
they
really,
put the ball where the ball was supposed to go on that play.
Yes,
That's what they did.
It's really cool to watch a head coach / play caller, Shane Steichen, not try to prove anything. Well, I can make it's, you know what? Our offense is efficient. Let's keep it that way.
Exactly. And I think there's a few reasons why, and we're going to get into them now. It's this offensive room that you mentioned. Michael Pittman, 54 yards per game. Josh Downs, 35 a game. Alec Pierce, 57 a game. They're really, really balanced, Steve.
Yes.
And then there's not any egos in that room. They all know that on any given play, it's my play. And the next play, it's not. And I'll help out the group. The efficiency and the ability, and this was, I think, the best thing that I heard out of Indianapolis when you talk to people there is, we can be explosive running the ball or throwing the ball. And when the game's on the line, we're comfortable running the ball or throwing the ball. So now what's your tendency to a defense? You really aren't giving them one at all.
That's trouble.
It's a lot of trouble. And then the two X factors that help this room, obviously Daniel Jones completing a lot of balls, getting them in the right play. The receiver group running what they're supposed to run and knowing their roles. Then you get the rookie tight end as the X factor who leads this team in receiving, Tyler Warren.
Wow.
It's like the guy who put it all together in the passing game.
He is ridiculous. He's a hell of a route runner. He's so good. He got, he reminds me of Sam
Laporta?
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Just where you just go, there he is again. There he goes again.
There he goes. If you talk to people in Indianapolis, they'll tell you he has become the chess piece for them. He's in the backfield. He's in tight. They have certain run game schemes, I'm told, Steve, that run behind him. And he's a hell of a blocker. So there's no tell, like a lot of these pure pass-catching tight ends, that what you're doing is this, because they'll still run a lot, and they'll run behind him, and he loves. Like I mentioned, I'm talking to Franklin, he was like, bro, this guy loves the nasty part of football. Like, he wants to block until the whistle, after the whistle. Like, he will keep coming at you. And then I've also heard, like, don't be surprised if you see, like, a jump pass from Tyler Warren in the backfield, like a direct snap.
Oh, did you see? He threw one, and he threw it left-handed too.
He can do everything. He can do everything. And so what you played with Greg Olsen, you play with tight ends that need attention.
Ain't no Greg Olsen.
No, I'm not saying it. I'm saying
Tyler Warren's better than Greg Olsen. Sorry.
Listen, I'm just saying. What does a tight end?
I'm just throwing it out there.
He's about as complete as you can get at the position. I mean, it's and the yards after the catch, the toughness, the physicality, everything. He's unbelievable. What does a tight end do for your receiving group that they need to account for no matter where he's lined up?
It opens up everything. It makes the linebackers be on alert. The linebackers can't really chase you down a little bit when you're running crossing routes, and that's where you're able to see with Michael Pittman. They utilize what we call crossers in the night, Josh Downs, Anthony Pittman, just everything. I tell you, though, what has happened, too, is Tyler Warren has been able to be on the offense so much, pass game, run game. What you're gonna start to see is, I wouldn't be surprised if the odd man out is A.D. Mitchell.
Now remember, he had the two key issues 2 weeks ago. This past week, didn't see the field a whole bunch until the game was out of hand.
But do you want? But here's why. There are just so many better football players ahead of him right now, and it's nothing against them. It's you go back and he makes these two plays. Is he really better than Alec Pierce?
Not at what Alec Pierce does.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Is he better than Aston Dooley? No.
Not at what Aston Dooley does.
Exactly.
That's the thing. That's the fun part about this offense. There's very specific roles.
Yes.
And they're trusted to do what they do in their role.
Yes. And if you can't do your role, like what has happened, you get in the doghouse. He's been in the doghouse since he's got there. There has been some things like, hey, they nitpick, they do this, they do that, but that's Shane Steichen's offense. He is about the details. And when you're not about the details, you fall behind.
Yep. And so then there's the other part of this offense. Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor are the best tight end running back duo in football. And nobody talks about a tight end running back duo, but in terms of scrimmage yards...
That was the first time I ever heard of it.
Right? In terms of scrimmage yards, they're the best in the league. My point is, these are your two complements to your receiver room, and they're two of the best at their respective positions.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at Jonathan Taylor, he leads the NFL in rushing, Steve. He is, and I think this changes it as well, as I mentioned, the explosive plays. He's a home run hitter at the same time. He can take it to the house all the time. Yep. And so when you have what they have in the middle, that's my point. When they can run the ball, and Warren's there to help them run the ball, and Taylor is there to run the ball, you have to be seeing things different than other teams as a receiver.
Yep.
Like it's just they have a touch of everything, and there's no predictability to them.
Well, what it does for the receivers, it opens up what you go over in practice. By the play calls, the coach gives an opportunity for it to you're not thrown for any surprises. Right? Coach said we was going to see this, we're going to see that, and then we run it and we get that look. So you gain more and more confidence that our coaches are going to put us in the right position. And then now we can start studying, anticipating, and then come out and say, hey, coach, I was thinking about this. What do you think? Oh, great idea. That's the best. When players can throw in some suggestions and the coach actually listens to you and does it, because then you start to go, hey, I will run through a brick wall for this coach because he has my back, and damn sure I have his back.
That's a great point. And I mentioned the home runs for a reason. I look at Philly last year and how many of their explosive plays came through the run game. What does every second-level defender have to be worried about with Jonathan Taylor?
As a Philly fan, are you questioning the run game right now?
Run game's not good. It's not good.
How about the pass game?
Pass game's not good either. Right now. I mean, I think they're trying to find their if we're going to talk about Philly, you can't. I think they're trying to find their offensive identity. They've lost it entirely with another new play caller. There's a new one every single year. Jalen's had a new one every year since high school. But I do think the offensive line hasn't held up their end of the bargain in the run game. I think that's been a part. And usually what happens, right, Steve, if an O-line isn't blocking in the run game really well, what does the running back oftentimes do? Starts searching, starts bouncing, and it's not working great.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yep. Yeah, together it's not working great. Anything else on this Colts offense, Steve? That you just like? I mean, I think we can say we're far enough into the season that this is for real. what they're doing offensively.
Yes, it's definitely for real. And you can see that Daniel Jones knows exactly what he's doing, how to do it. And when your quarterback knows what he's doing, especially when you can say also that he didn't know what he was doing prior to in New York, but then that just shows you that, fit matters, but also how you're coached, what the expectations are. And then, starting over with a fresh perspective really opens up you to be more optimistic, open-minded, and that's what they're having right there with the Colts. And I see them re-signing them. I think they should. I think they'd be foolish. But here's a question. If they re-sign them early, or do they trade Anthony Richardson first and then re-sign Daniel Jones?
I haven't thought about that. I haven't heard anything about them getting rid of Anthony Richardson right now, but it's getting to that point to where what can we just get assets for this? I mean, we're happy with what we have.
Look, 2 years in a row now that you've had another quarterback come in and outperform him every single time.
The league's obsessed with raw talent for some reason. They're obsessed with raw talent. He's got that. The last point I'll make is, and this was from the same opposing DC that hasn't gone against it, but Steichen, is they're so multi-dimensional as an offense, Steve, that they just kind of adapt to whatever the defense is playing. And you hinted at that earlier, but I just want to make this point because they made a really good point to me, is against the Raiders, they just saw what the Raiders were doing. They're giving us underneath stuff. Okay, we'll run our underneath stuff. Because, you know what I mean? It's just trouble. It's just kind of how they do it. Raiders are in trouble. They are in trouble right now. Yeah.
And I don't think all of it is Geno Smith either.
No. I sent a desperation just tweet out just to say, hey, I know Max Crosby wants to win, but maybe we all should just kind of just pick him up a little bit and say, bro, you are incredible at what you do. Well, Max is awesome. He's ridiculous.
I need to check the tape with Max Crosby.
He's out. How good of a dude is Max Crosby?
He's a great dude, man.
I put that out. I do he put that out and he texted me. It was like, we got to keep working, but I appreciate it. I was like, man, dude's still thinking of team.
He's a wild dude, man. Hard working, mammer jammer.